So our calendar project started about 3 years after we started the company. Sophie and I were trying to work out how we could keep in touch with our clients, what we could send them, something was creative, something was interesting, something would stick on their desks for years. And I kept getting sent these calendars from printers, and they'd mount up, and I tended to file them in only the one place I knew where to file them, because I didn't like the design, which was the bin. And I thought, we must be able to do something better than that, and that's how it started. We sent out our initial one. It got some really good feedback. When we didn't send it out the next year, people started saying, "Where's your calendar?" And that sort of started the ball rolling.
So last year we did a playing cards calendar. So the cards were something that had been mentioned in the previous year, but we didn't know if we could actually do it. And so, last year we gave it a good go. So yes, it seemed to tie into, it was for 2014. So the fact it was 14 and with 1 year and 4 seasons, we thought that was a nice link. And then the fact it's one pack of playing cards with 4 suits felt like another nice link. And the fact that there's 52 weeks in the year and 52 cards in the deck, it all seemed to tie nicely together for that particular year. And so then it was a case of working out how we could tie that into the particular design and how we'd make it work. So we explored lots of different options for how the suits would tie in with the seasons and how they should tie in. So it was looking at the symbols and if we could relate those to the seasons in some way. And then it's also how it's always a bit of a discussion as how it functions as a calendar versus how it functions as an object. So it's kind of interesting we tackle it in different ways each year, really. And so this as a week-by-week calendar. So it's got each of the dates along each card, and you can turn those over as you go. But you can also use it as a pack of playing cards, which we kind of wanted to be able to do as well. To tie it in with the seasons, we looked at cards was originally called the Leaf Game, and so it felt like a nice link to use the leaves of the seasons and tie that into how we could get the symbols on each of the cards. So then it was looking at how we could illustrate each of the symbols to look like leaves. The most challenging part is probably because it's going across 52 cards and a box and working out exactly what those symbols were going to be and how they'd work on each of the different cards. And then because it's ours, it's always up on the wall and everyone's sort of commenting on things, and should we try that slightly differently and what should we do with that? And obviously to keep going back and doing 52 cards and the iterations on that to get it to where everyone's happy with it, that's probably the most challenging part.
So Jazz Types was a project I did about a year or so ago. It's a project whereby over 100 days I created a poster a day on a different jazz musician, and I recorded each day what I did. I produced a book of all the posters, and I recorded not only how I came up with it but the time as well. And I just had to produce it was a creative expression based on the jazz artist or their music, and that was my brief. But I wasn't allowed to use any photography because I thought that would be too easy. And that's what I did every single day. What's been great about the project is that having done it, I realised I sort of learnt a lot from it. I learnt about the importance of play. You know, it's so important to creativity. I don't think we do anywhere near enough. I don't do anywhere near enough. We mustn't be afraid of failure either. I think too often we get worried about failing. We don't tend to do stuff because we're worried about failing. And I wanted to just try and do stuff. And even though some of the posters have failed, in my opinion, the whole process has been really, really good for us, and really good for me, and really good for us. I've got a really great set of posters out of it. People really like the stories. It's taught me about the importance of this idea of just doing stuff and trying stuff, because that's more important than not doing anything at all. And I hope it really acts as an inspiration for others to go out and just try and do something. If they've got a personal project they want to try, just go and do it. I think it's really good because it allows us to express our creativity. It allows us to do things perhaps we wouldn't normally do. It allows us to play. But we still have to set ourselves a brief. We still have to write a framework for the project. We need a deadline. And sometimes we've had ideas and tried things and they haven't had a deadline and they've drifted. So that's why the calendars are very good, because I've always got a deadline. But I think it's quite good to explore different areas of things we wouldn't normally try. I think that's really good, because then it comes back into the work, and if you can try something out and then it comes back into the work, that's really good. And it's nice to get everybody involved with different things. I think that's really good for the studio, I think.